California Base was a network of military installations located alongside the coast of California. This was where the Federation headquartered its terrestrial navy, built its ships, and developed its weapons, making it an obvious target for Zeon. In early March, Zeon launched their second landing operation, personally led by the young Azabi, Garma Azabi. Their objective was to seize control of the American continent, with a particular focus on California Base due to its vital production capabilities. To sustain a planetary invasion, Zeon needed to manufacture equipment locally and maintain their momentum. The battle for California Base was fierce. Federation resistance intensified as Zeon forces pushed further inland, resulting in a prolonged stalemate. This impasse was eventually broken by the Midnight Fenrir Special Forces Unit, which led a decisive breakthrough in their sector. Their efforts culminated in the discovery of a K-system leading to an underground submarine dock, which they swiftly secured. The entire complex of bases under their control, Zeon gained access to operational submarines, and more importantly, the Federation's advanced research and production facilities. The second landing operation proved successful, with both California Base and New York falling firmly under Zeon control. Wasting no time, Zeon activated the production lines at California Base, manufacturing submarines based on blueprints recovered during the assault, as well as mobile suits and components to reinforce their Earth invasion forces. The war on Earth pressed on, and Zeon steadily expanded its territorial gains. However, by mid-year, unsettling reports began to circulate among the troops. Federation mobile suits had been sighted in active combat zones. In response, High Command in Site 3 issued requests to develop mobile suits capable of encountering this emerging threat. While Zeonic and ZMAT fiercely competed for the production contract, frontline forces knew they could not afford to wait. The momentum of the invasion was clearly slowing, and immediate action was necessary. Now, this is where I'm going to do things a little bit more different than usual, at least compared to the previous Gundam videos. It's gonna be less narrative driven, I guess, but more of a discussion. At least this part will. Right, this part will be more of a discussion or like an assumption, because unlike the previous suits, the Dom, Zaku, the Goof, and all that, those guys, they literally have like loads of, they got like an entire animes where they're featured in and mangas as well, and books. They basically they have a lot of information on them. The Efreet does not have that much. Literally only has like a couple of games. It's literally a game suit, and they don't really explain much in their games. Like I'll still try to incorporate some narrative aspects, but I think from this point on, I will use like what is available, but I'm gonna do some creative writing. I'm gonna write up a little bit of fanfic to kind of fill up the gaps. But don't worry, like the hard information will still be there. It's just like the parts where I need to fill out the gaps. I'm gonna, what do you call that? I'm gonna fill out with my own ideas as much as I can. Fully aware that the ongoing competition between Zeonic and ZMAT would take far too long to address the immediate needs on Earth, Garma Azabi, commanding officer of the Earth Attack Force, decided to take matters into his own hands. He aimed to capitalize on the research and production capabilities of California Base to create and manufacture a new line of mobile suits tailored specifically for the Earth campaign. Ambitious and eager to prove his worth to his family, particularly to his sister Caecilia, Garma was determined to demonstrate that despite his youth, he was a capable leader, deserving of the Zabi name. When he informed Caecilia of his plan, she was intrigued and agreed to support his efforts. She tapped into her connections at ZMAT, securing a team of engineers and designers to assist in the development of the new suit. She also ordered Colonel Makuve to divert a portion of the extracted resources from Odessa to support the project at California Base. While Caecilia may have genuinely admired Garma's initiative, it is very likely that her support was a calculated move, intended to grow her influence over her increasingly popular young brother, and sway him to her side of the Zabi family's internal power struggle. Like, that's basically the fanfic I was talking about. Let me present the reasons for all that. Okay, so Nowhere does it say that the Efreet was Garma's doing, but since the Earth Attack Force is the manufacturer, and Garma is the one in charge of that part of the Zeon army. I mean, if he's not the one that came up with the idea, he's at least the one that greenlit the idea, because I mean, it makes sense, right? For something this big to go up the chains to the top. So I think he had some knowledge of this project if he wasn't the one that came up with it. Now, why Kaisila is involved in this? That's because, like, that's like 4 to 5 pilots, like named people, that piloted the Efreet during the 1 Year War that are all under her, right? Nimbus, he's part of the Flanagan Institute, which, at least based on Giron's greed, was her idea, or at least she was the one that presents the Flanagan Institute, I guess, research to you when you play Giron's greed. When you're able to start researching new type weapons, she's the one that be like, she approaches you and tells you like, we should establish this institute or whatever, something like that. So even if the institute is not her doing, she has some pull, like a big pull on that place. Then you got Henry Boone. He was part of her personal guard, and I think publicly he's no longer under her, but I very believe that Henry is still secretly under her, because I mean, he was sent with the Efreet to do a secret mission to destroy the Pixie, right? And the only way, you know, the Zeon, they intercepted information somehow. They had spies or whatever, and guess who's in charge of the intelligence agency of Zeon? Cassilia. So I still think there's a connection there, even though he's publicly no longer her guard. I think there's still a connection between those two. Then you got Doug here. His team, the Marcusius Corps, that's under Cassilia, so that's pretty much straightforward. That goes to the same for Helena from the Noisy Fairy as well. Those guys are also under Cassilia. Then you also got Makuve, which is obviously under her. Now he didn't like, it didn't specifically state that this was his suit, but he ordered the creation of the Nak, what do you call it? The Nak variant of the Efreet. That was his doing. It doesn't say anywhere that I could see that was his suit. But you know, if he had the power to order it, to order the creation of that thing, then that means that suit was at least placed under his protection or his command, I guess. So that's like 5 people. 5 people under Cassilia that, you know, that pilot the suit. Pilot like 5 out of the 8 suits. That's literally basically all of them. Maybe that's just a coincidence, but I don't know. I honestly feel like it's possible that Cassilia was that you know, Cassilia pulled some strings for that one. And the Zima connection, this is entirely based on like a single line in the wiki. Like, I have no idea what sources for that one, because it doesn't say anywhere. And usually like wikis, when they source something, there's like a little number at the end of that part. That's not in the Gundam wiki, so I'm not sure where that's from. But the Zima page says that they help with the what do you call it, the Efreet, so I guess they helped with it. I guess I'm just gonna take that at face value. I kind of see it happening, like maybe like they helped the Efreet and got like the data for like the melee thingy, and they're like, this is expensive. Maybe we can make a cheaper version later on. And using that data, they created the Gion. Maybe the Gion was supposed to be like a mass production version of the Efreet. Who knows? Who knows? But I think that's entirely possible. Now, Garma, you know, he's always trying to suck up to Kaisila, so I can easily see something like this happening.
Big Sister Cassilia, it's so good to see you again. I wasn't sure if you answer. I know how busy you are, but I just had to reach out. Hello, Garma. To what do I owe this unexpected call? Well, I know you've probably already been briefed, but I wanted to tell you personally. things are going well here on Earth. Most of the Federation bases in the region are under our control, but the pace is slowing. And there are whispers among the men about new Federation mobile suits. Stronger ones. Some are even saying that they can outmatch our Zaku's. Yes, I've heard. Giran has already instructed Zionic and Zima to develop a countermeasure. I have engineers at Peasant addressing it as well. Oh, well, of course you do. I mean, you're always 10 steps ahead. But I've also taken some initiative on my end. I wanted to show you something. Oh? This is interesting. Right? It's still early. Just a draft, but our engineers say it's going to blow the Zaku's out of the water. Faster, tougher, more power. And it's all being developed here at California Base. The suits, the weapons, everything. I thought that, well, I hope you'd be impressed. You certainly put together something promising, my sweet little brother. I must admit, I'm intrigued. Really? That means so much to hear from you, Cassilia. I want this to be something that makes you proud. I want to help Zeon in a way that really matters. Then let's make sure it succeeds. I'll see to it that the project is formally registered and given full recognition. I'll also assign additional engineers to support the work. And I'll instruct Makuve to send any resources you need. You will? That's incredible, big sister. Thank you. I promise, I won't waste this opportunity on one condition. Anything. Name it. When production begins, a share of the units will be transferred to my forces. Just a percentage. Of course! Whatever you need, you'll have it. I'll make sure of it. Good. Expect the first team of engineers within the week. You've done well, Garma. Keep this up. Thank you, Cassilia. I won't let you down. Seeing Zeon!
Work began on what would later be designated the MS-08TX Efreet. With Cassilia's backing, the Efreet was approved as an official project, granting the development team access to state resources for its production and refinement. The Efreet's design philosophy resembled that of the Goof, a mobile suit focused on close quarters combat. Whether this resemblance was coincidental or directly inspired by the Goof was never explicitly stated. Unlike the Goof though, which was essentially a lighter and faster evolution of the Zaku 2, the Efreet was constructed entirely from the ground up. While the Goof offered improvements of the Zaku, it still retained some of its predecessors' inherent limitations, requiring pilots to engage with strategic finesse. The Efreet, on the other hand, was engineered for raw power, relying on its robust frame and high-output engine to overwhelm opponents through sheer force. Performance data compared to the later MS-14A Gelgoog revealed that the Efreet could out-accelerate it, despite the Gelgoog being significantly lighter and boasting an engine with around 400 kilowatts more output. This feat placed the Efreet far above both the Goof and the Dom, which were being developed concurrently. To complement this high-performance mobile suit, a new range of weapons were developed. Chief among them was the ZUX-197 Jagdgewehr 192mm shotgun. The shotgun supported three types of ammunition: Luna titanium buckshot, capable of penetrating armor at close range, slug shells, effective for mid-range engagements, and birdshot shells, designed for suppression, anti-infantry, anti-air, or targeting weak points in the enemy's armor. Alongside the shotgun, the Efreet was equipped with a new type of heat sword, functioning similar to the Heat Hawk. Unlike the Goose Type Beta 4 beam-like heat sword, the Efreet's version used a solid blade that was superheated. Two swords could be mounted simultaneously on the hardpoints located on the Efreet's armored skirt. Other sub-weapons include the head-mounted Vulcans and smoke dischargers for evasion. A total of 8 prototypes were produced. As promised, Garma Zabi transferred at least 5, maybe even 6, to his sister, Cassilia, who personally selected their pilots. One unit, maintained to stock specifications, was assigned to Captain Henry Boone, who was tasked with a covert operation to eliminate a secret Federation project, later revealed as the RX-78XX Gundam Pixie. Another unit was handed over to the Flanagan Institute to serve as a testbed for the exam system. a volatile system designed to replicate the combat capabilities of a new type pilot. Only a few could withstand its strain, including Nimbus Schützen, one of Caecilia's elite. Its custom unit, the MX-08TX Exam Efreet Custom, was modified for its aggressive melee style. Nimbus replaced the shotgun with dual heat swords. His unit's range capabilities were limited to missile and grenade launchers, used primarily for suppression rather than precision attacks. The head was slightly enlarged to fit the exam system and the required cooling. They also somehow managed to make it generally lighter than the standard model, and gave it even stronger thrusters to further increase its speed. To adapt the exam custom for space operations, modifications were necessary. The leg-mounted missile launchers were removed and replaced with additional thrusters. Smaller 3-tube missile launchers replaced the arm-mounted grenades. The Efreet's original frame was not intended for zero-gravity combat, so extra armor was added to integrate the AMBAC system. And external propellant tanks were installed on the redesigned backpack due to internal limitations. Captain Doug Schneid's unit maintained standard specifications aside from a custom color scheme and weapon loadout, including a triple machine gun similar to the Goof Customs, and a unique Heat Lancer. Another Efreet, supposedly Makuve's unit, was modified to the MS-08TX-N Efreet Nacht to test stealth technologies. This variant featured a jamming system that disrupted radar, thermal, and even acoustic detection. Ventilation was restructured, and the rear thrusters were housed in retractable mounts. 4 additional thrusters on the legs boosted mobility. The weapons were also redesigned for stealth. The Cold Blade, a large sword coated in anti-beam material capable of clashing with beam weapons. The Cold Kunai, electrified throwing knives, similar in function to the Goof's heat rod, and a triple-barrel machine gun mounted in a retractable housing. The final prototype, the MS-08TX-NF Efreet Jaeger, was adapted into a range unit, perhaps as a test for a future long-range mass production model, akin to the Goof Heavy Arms type. This unit was assigned to Helena Hegel, sharpshooter of the Noisy Fairy Squadron. It shared features similar to the Nacht variant, such as the removed front vents and extra leg thrusters. Other upgrades include chaff cracker grenades, used to conceal the unit from radar detection, a custom sniper rifle that fired physical rounds instead of a beam to avoid visual and heat detection. The sniper rifle could fire 2 rounds, a high penetration round for mobile suits, and a high explosive round for light targets and aircraft. Possibly to compensate for the rifle's weight, the heat sword was swapped out for a compact kukri-style heat knife. Other enhancements of the Jaeger include reworked armor, a camera gun, and a foldable knee stand for stable sniping. The stories and conditions of the remaining 2 or 3 units are, as of yet, completely unknown. Of the 3 next-generation mobile suits, the Efreet is arguably the most lethal in terms of raw combat power. However, unsurprisingly, it was ultimately not selected to succeed the Zaku 2. Much like the Goof, the Efreet's highly specialized close combat design proved too limiting for widespread deployment across a broad range of pilots. Its very high production costs further disqualified it from consideration as a standard issue unit. Due to its rarity and performance, the Efreet became a highly coveted mobile suit among Zeon ace pilots. Following the war, surviving Efreet units were preserved almost reverently by Zeon remnant forces and even by the Federation. Doug Schneid's Efreet survived the conflict and was eventually recovered by remnant forces at New Guinea. Over nearly 2 decades, they maintained and extensively upgraded it, resulting in the MS-08TXS Efreet Schneid, named in his honor. The Schneid variant featured a completely overhauled power plant, boosting its output from 1,072 kilowatts to 2,202 kilowatts. To manage the heat generated by this new engine, larger exhaust ports were installed. Sections of the armor were also upgraded to Gundarium alloy, offering superior resistance to contemporary weaponry. Remnant forces also managed to develop 2 new weapon systems for this upgraded model. The Heat Darts, compact superheated throwing knives effective for close-range precision strikes, and the Beam Saber, which was made feasible by the Schneid's enhanced power output, allowing this pre-beam era mobile suit to wield a modern energy blade. There's possibly another Nuck type Efreet, or at least its spare parts, that escaped Earth during Zeon's retreat. A custom mobile suit employed by the Neo Delos fleet, the MS-14R Gelgook High Mobility Assault type, bears numerous design similarities to the Nuck. It featured a head reminiscent of the Efreet and uses weapon systems found only in the Nuck variant. I personally think it's the parts, and I don't think it's a full suit because if you look at it, it's mostly a Gelgook, so there's that. Outside of these two exceptions, though, much like the goof, there has been no attempt, either spiritually or directly, to create a successor to the Efreet. You know, I never liked the suit until recently. I've always been a gun boy, and I still am. You know, I like pew pews, right? I like pew pews over swashbuckling. So the whole melee orient thing didn't really jive with me until recently. I played a Gundam versus game, I forget which one, and the Freak custom was in that game, and I loved it. It's just a fast boy. It's a fast boy. It's an aggressive boy. It's so easy to use. They literally beat like, I mean, not every suit. I guess some suits are kind of take a bit more finessing to beat, but most of them you can just like dumbly just rush in and just spam the melee button. It's so good. Like even in GBO2, like I've been using it in GBO2 a lot, but I think in GBO2 I've been using it a lot more as a range suit than a melee suit. Like like I use the MMP in the in GBO2, and that gun allows me not to be close to people, you know? I don't have to be close. I mean, I'll still go melee when the opportunity arises. I'll still go melee and, you know, deal probably the most amount of damage I could in that game. But yeah, mostly I've just been using it as like a support. Like people just kind of rush in, and I follow them, and they do all the stunning and all that. And I'm just like shooting my machine gun at them, shooting the legs. I'm doing what my now role model Tonya Harding would do to her opponents and go for the legs. But anyway, that's this week's briefing, pilots. Thanks for joining. This one, this was a fun one to write actually because I was able to make some things up. I was able to make a dialogue scene. That was fun. That was actually fun. I kind of want to do more of that if I can. I don't know if I can do it all the time, but if I'm able to do, if I can think of a scene that would make sense for a dialogue to happen between two characters, I think I would try to do that a lot more because that's fun. That was very fun. I like that one. But yeah, that was the Efreet. Fun suit, good suit, cool looking suit. Actually, it's a very evil looking suit, and I love it. For the next one, the next Gundam video, I have no idea what it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna start touching Federation stuff. Maybe I'll start with Operation V. Maybe. Oh my god, Operation V is gonna take a lot of reading though. I think because that's like that's gonna be a lot of information on that. That's for sure. It's like the main stuff the Gundam is based on. So I mean, we'll see. I guess maybe we'll do like the Operation V. We'll do like the original three first. The original the gun tank, Gundam, and the gun cannon. Maybe we'll cover that one first. Or you can just tell me what you want me to do. I don't know. I actually don't know what to do for the next one. Most likely Operation V if I can't think of anything else. But if you got any ideas, just shoot down below. And just make it clear, I have no clue. If you ask me for a seed suit, there's a very low chance of me doing that because I don't like seed. I really don't like seed. Yamato. No. No. I'm gonna move on before I get angry. Anyway, that's that. Thanks for joining, pilot. Please, if you get a sudden urge, a patriotic urge to listen to more briefings of Earth suits that we will face one day when we come to Earth, then please do join the Jupiter fleet by clicking the sub button right there. Or if you're unable to join the fleet, then maybe just click that like button, yes, and that will spread the word around. Because more likes equals more algorithm, baby. AI. I don't know how it works, but something works. I have a personal graveyard for the heroes, fallen heroes of the Jupiter colony, heroes of the Jupiter colony, legends of the Jupiter colony. That is called my Discord channel. You can go there and mourn together in silence. We do that every day, 24/7. Yes. I also stream games. I mean my training sessions. Yes, I stream my training sessions so that you could see, you can learn from the best what to do when we finally reach and fight the Earth people. Oh, those damn Earth people. Always taking stuff away from us, huh? Who do they think they are? They think better than us? They're not. We have mechs. They barely have any. Hmm. But that's been that. Pilots, glory to the Jupiter colony. Take care. And as always, do not die.